All right, so today we're going to talk about something that could seriously change your daily life as a developer. If you've ever felt like you're fighting with your own tools just to get a project running, then you're going to want to stick around. We're diving into a tool called Pixi. I mean, does this question hit a little too close to home? You know the feeling. You're juggling a dozen different dependencies, things are slow, and getting a new person set up on your project takes like half a day. It's that works on my machine nightmare. And honestly, it's a huge drag on productivity. And look, it's not just us. Even seasoned developers are getting fed up. This quote from Safawan Shergi really says it all. People who have been using the same tools for years, tools like Pip and Conda, are starting to look for something better. And a lot of them are landing on the same thing.
And that something better is Pixi. The whole idea behind it is to stop the madness. It's designed to be a single, unified tool that brings some sanity back into our development workflows. It's an all-in-one solution.
So, what is it, really? The official definition calls it a fast, modern, and reproducible package manager. Now, fast and modern are great, but the key word here, the real magic bullet, is reproducible. That's the thing that's going to solve so many of our headaches. So let's talk about that. How does Pixi guarantee reproducibility? Well, it automatically creates something called a lock file. You can think of this file as a super detailed recipe for your project. It lists every single dependency down to the exact version. This means anyone on any computer can recreate your environment perfectly, every single time. Now, here's another killer feature. For years, we've kind of had to choose between two worlds. The Conda world, which is amazing for scientific computing and handling more than just Python, and the PyPy world, which has, everything else. Well, Pixi brings them together. It speaks both languages fluently, letting you pull packages from both ecosystems into the same project without a fuss. And it gets better. Pixi isn't just a package manager. It has a task runner built right in. So forget about writing custom shell scripts or make files for common commands. You can define simple shortcuts like start or test right inside your project configuration. It's a small thing that makes a huge difference. All right, enough talk. Let's see this thing in action. Theory is great, but getting your hands dirty is where it really clicks. We're going to walk through setting up a simple, fast API application from scratch, step by step, to show you just how smooth this is. Okay, first things first, we initialize our project. It's just one command, Pixi init. We're calling our app FastAP app, and we're adding that -- format PyProject flag. That just tells Pixi to use the standard pyproject.toml file, which is going to act as the command center for our entire project. Next, our project needs Python, right? With Pixi, you just say Pixi add Python equals 3.12. And just like that, Pixi goes out to the Conda channels, grabs that exact version of Python, installs it for our project, and locks it in. No more messing with your system's Python installation. And here is that beautiful harmony we talked about. To add our libraries from the Python package index, we use the same Pixi add command, but just add the -py flag. We'll grab FastAPI and Unicorn. Pixi's resolver figures out all the dependencies and makes sure everything just works together. It's so clean. So we've got all our dependencies. What now? You just type Pixi shell and boom, you're dropped into an isolated shell where that specific version of Python, FastAPI, and Unicorn are all installed and waiting for you. The entire environment is ready to go. Okay, so the basics are incredibly slick. But now let's level up and look at two of the more advanced capabilities that really set Pixi apart for managing bigger, more complex projects, features, and tasks. So what in the world is a feature? Well, think of it as a named bucket for your dependencies. Instead of having one giant list of every library for production, testing, and documentation all jumbled together, you can organize them. You can have a bucket for your testing tools, another for your linting tools, and so on. And here's what that looks like in practice. Your default environment on the left has just the core stuff your app needs to run. But then you can create a separate test environment that has everything from the default plus your testing libraries, like PyTest. This keeps your main environment lean and clean. Creating these features is dead simple. It's the same command as before, but you just toss in -feature test. This tells Pixi to create a new group called test and put PyTest and PyTestCov inside it. You could do this for anything you want, dev, docs, you name it. Now let's circle back to that task runner. Remember that long command you always have to look up to start your server? Well, with Pixi, you just save it as a task. You type Pixi task add, give it a simple name like start, and then provide the full command just once. It gets saved right into your project's configuration file. And here's the magic. From that moment on, anyone, including you 6 months from now, can just type Pixi run start. That's it. They don't have to remember the file name, the flags, nothing. It just works. This is how you create a standardized, easy-to-use workflow for your entire team. So we've seen how Pixi works, but the real question is, why should you bother switching? You've probably been using Pip or Conda for years. Is it really worth the effort to change? I think when you see the whole picture, the answer is a resounding yes. This little table says it all. You can see how all the other tools are good at some things, but not others. Conda is great with multiple languages, but has no lock files. Poetry has amazing lock files, but is only for Python. Pixi is the only one here that just checks all the boxes. It takes the best ideas from every tool and puts them into one cohesive package. And don't just take my word for it. We're seeing heavy hitters in the Python community get on board. Here, Guillaume Lemaitre from the scikit-learn team points out that for him, the killer feature is that seamless support for both PyPy and Conda. It just cuts out so much extra setup and configuration. And it's not just for your big application projects either. Here's a great point from Matthew Fikert. He uses Pixi to manage his global command line tools. This means you can have a perfectly reproducible set of tools on any machine you work on, keeping your system's environment super clean. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your current workflow. Think about all the little paper cuts, the time you waste debugging environment issues, or just trying to get a project started. Pixi offers a path to a much smoother, faster, and more unified world. Maybe it's time to ask yourself if your tools are really working for you, or if they're just getting in the way.